State of the Nation with Zororo Makamba.
Reforms, reforms, reforms. How many times have we heard that word over the last year or two? A lot. What are these reforms? Why do we need them? Do we even need them? And where are we with them? Well, let's find out on this week's State of the Nation. From day one, President Mnangagwa had a lot to do. What was on his desk? Reforms. We're talking political reforms and economic reforms. Some laws you must change. Some laws you must align to the Constitution. Some laws, well, we just need to throw them into the bin. Not an easy job, but it has to be done. Let's start with the ones that we hear about a lot. There is POSA. That's the Public Order and Security Act. This is the law that the police use to deal with stuff like rallies, gatherings, and marches. Now, why should this law change? Well, part of it violates our Constitution. So in its place, we'll have a new law, the Maintenance of Peace and Order Bill. It's been passed by both houses of parliament and now waiting for signature on the president's desk. Then we have AIPPA. This is the law that every journalist hates. It makes it hard for the media to do their work. This is also being replaced by two bills, the Zimbabwe Media Commission Bill and the Freedom of Information Bill. The public has been debating these bills across the country. We also have the Police Act. We all know our police force needs to change. This must happen. Now, we talk a lot about political reforms, but economic reforms are just as important. So let's talk about these for a minute. First, some good news. Zimbabwe has gone up 15 places on the ease of doing business list. This is according to the World Bank. Since 2018, we have moved up from 159 to 155, and now we are at 140. That's out of 190 countries. This is because of changes we have made to stuff like registering property, construction permits, and the time it takes to open a business. This is good, but you know what? We could be higher on that list. We should be higher, much higher. But why aren't we? Because of that word again, reforms, reforms, reforms. We've just been too slow. Here's one real example. In 2018, our government asked investors, what do you expect when you walk into the country? What frustrates you? Simple. Investors don't have time to waste. They don't want to move from this store to this store to that door just to get this license and that other license. Nobody wants to deal with too many officials. We all know what goes down when that happens. So the government came up with a new bill, the Zimbabwe Investment and Development Agency, the ZIDA bill. This is what this law would do. An investor won't have to go from the Zimbabwe Investment Authority to the Ministry of Trade, to AIPPA, to the local council, back to the Ministry of Finance, etc., just to invest. They just go to one investment agency. Everything is sorted there. Less doors, less fees, less licenses. Now, we say we're open for business. This is the sort of law that we need to back up our talk. But has it happened? No. The bill is one of 6 other bills that has been sitting in Parliament. The MPs have allowed it to lapse. So, we must wait a little longer. Reforms, reforms, reforms. More like delays, delays, delays. Yes, reforms take time. This is what the president said at the World Economic Forum in September. Some feel that the pace was slow, but we cannot jump any constitutional procedures because tomorrow it will haunt us again.
So all the changes which we have to do, we have to go through all the parliamentary procedures. Yes, there are some people who are saying the pace is slow, but we are telling them that we cannot jump any procedures because tomorrow it will haunt us again.
Yes, these procedures must be carefully followed. It was never going to be easy, but here's the thing. Our MPs need to be pushed. In the State of the Nation address to the Parliament, President Mnangagwa said that MPs were taking too long on these laws. They need a whip. Where's that Shamu no Munyu? We need that. ZANU-PF has 2/3 majority. This shouldn't be just about bragging. It should be about making it work. Zimbabwe to build a $12 billion mining industry by 2023. That's the new plan by the Minister of Mines, Winston Chitando. In 4 years' time, he wants the industry to generate $12 billion in exports. Right now, our industry is only giving us about $3 billion per year. So we have to grow the industry by 4 times over the next 4 years. That's very ambitious. What does this plan look like? Can it work? Let's take a look. First, the government has had to make some legal reforms. Out went the indigenization policy. No investor was ready to give away more than half of their company. Then there's this new diamond policy. Since 2016, only the government could mine diamonds. This has changed. 4 companies can now go in. So what sort of numbers are we looking at here? We're currently producing about 30 tons of gold per year. The plan is to increase this to 100 tons by 2023. How? Well, bring in new mines and increase production from the ones that we already have. There's a plan to open a new mine. We're told that this will give us 6 tons when it's really up and running in the next few years. And what of the mines that we already have? Well, we have the likes of Eureka Mine in Guruve. This mine was closed years ago. It now has a new investor. They expect to restart production in 2020. We have Blanket Mine in Gwanda. They're spending about $14 million to make that mine deeper. This will also increase production. What about platinum? We already have 3 platinum mines. 2 more are expected to start production in 2020. The first is the Karo Resources in Mondoro. The other one is Great Dyke in Darwindale. We're currently producing just less than 1 million ounces of platinum every year. When these 2 new mines start working, we could double this. Onto the diamond industry. We now have Alrosa. This is the largest diamond company in the world. They're still exploring. They need to do this to figure out how much is down there and what they need to mine. Then there's Vast Resources from the UK. They've just raised about $15 million to start mining in Marange. And there's the lithium projects. It's the new thing. Prospect resources are out there in Goromonzi. There's already visible work being done there. We already have Bigita Minerals working on lithium too. So these are some of the new operations coming up. Should we be excited? Yes, we should. We need investment, especially now. But should we be cautious? Yes. These mines won't be running overnight. That's not how the industry works. It's a very long-term business. It takes years between the time a company decides to start mining and the time it actually starts mining. It costs millions of dollars too. We all know it's not easy to get big money when you're in Zimbabwe. But there are things that we can do. It takes a lot of permits and licenses for a mine to get started. But we all know how it goes down in Zimbabwe. These things take too long, there's too much red tape, too much corruption. The prices of minerals have been going up. Mining is good business right now, but not here. Our mines are struggling. The chemicals they use, the machinery, all of it's imported. With the forex and power crisis, things are getting tough for them. But this must be sorted out. It's great to see companies like Blanket Mine and RealZim now installing solar plants to put power up in their mines. Let's make our green energy policy easier for them to put up. Because of all these problems, we have missed out on the boom in mineral prices. Prices will go up again, so we need to be better prepared. The new mining plan is a great long-term strategy. It's time we make it work.
Whoa.